pulled into a liquor store in the Outer Banks of North Carolina to get a bottle of something. And a limo pulled in, and he gets out of the back seat, and runs into the liquor store, and comes back out with a bottle, and screams at the driver, and throws him out of the limo, and gets in it and drives off. I walked over there to the driver, and I said, "Can I give you a ride somewhere, Bo?" He goes, "Yeah, I'm staying in the motel if you don't mind." I said, that was Andy Taylor, Andy Griffin, wasn't it? And he goes, "Yeah." I said, "How long you work for him?" He goes, "Too long, 3 years." He goes, and I said, "Well, wait." So I gave him a ride to the hotel. Well, then a year later, I got invited to a party, and it was Andy Griffin's daughter that was at his house out there, gated home, real nice on the water. And I went out to the party and met her, and she was really cool. And then the cops came and said, "Your daddy doesn't want you here." And she goes, "Fuck you, get off my property and go." So the cops kind of left and we had the party, but yeah, he was kind of a dick. I mean, his own daughter didn't like him. I mean, what he did to the limo driver was just dead wrong. I mean, he was just an asshole. So I just never really liked him personally after that anymore. I'm just saying. But his daughter was really cool. She had some wicked parties out there, bands and lots of drugs and gay. It was a lot of fun. Just saying.
Where was this at?
Out in the Outer Banks of North Carolina.
Outer Banks, North Carolina.
Yeah, we actually smuggled a lot out there. That's how I found out about the Outer Banks of North Carolina.
Oh.
Yeah,
well,
they've been smuggling out there forever, so.
Well, did the planes just drop their load out there, or what?
Planes, lots of boats.
Boats.
Yeah. Yeah, there's a little town out there called Stumpy Point, and it's kind of like out in the middle of the swamp. It's got like, residents of 40,
right,
28, whatever it was. There wasn't many people living there. And there was just this one old fish house. And you could back a semi-truck up to the loading dock in the front of the fish house to unload your fish or whatever. And the truck actually sat out in the road. The cab of the truck was taking up half of a lane of the road, and it was just a road that went through the swamps, and kind of headed east and west. It was kind of in between anything, but you could actually, in like 40 miles beyond I-95, so it was a good offloading point for shrimp boats coming in full of pot. One night we were there, and we'd pretty much got everybody in town on the same page. A few dollars, everybody was happy because everybody was poor fishermen out there. So we had the truck out the road, and it extended into the morning. The boat didn't come in until late, so we were unloading it and getting ready to take it up north. And I hired a friend's son. His name was Joe Glow, and he ended up going to prison eventually. But Joe was my friend's son, and Joe Glow was 6'2" and 210 at 18. I mean, he was huge, And Joe was a good kid because he was growing up well with his family, were good people, so he was a good boy. And he was really young. He was like 17, and I had him out there helping me sling bales, along with several other individuals that were there, local and not local, helping unload a boat. All of a sudden, the traffic started getting real busy on the road. And I said, "I don't like this, boy," because we were out there in the morning, 9:30, unloading, bales into the back of a semi-truck off a shrimp boat. It's kind of shrouded by the shrimp house and the dock, and you couldn't really see what you were doing because the truck was backed up to the building, so it wasn't too bad, but it was a little spooky having all the cars go by and everything. I said, "God damn, Joe, this sucks." And he goes, "I'll handle it. I'll stop the traffic." I'll do it. Jumped in the Jeep, tore down the road. I said, "What the fuck?" So, I'm busy. He comes back 10 minutes. He goes, "Handle it, man." I said, "You handle it? What'd you do?" He goes, "I got it. Traffic's going to stop." He went down the road a couple miles and lit a fire on both sides of the road. Yeah, well, so now all of a sudden, the smoke's getting so thick you can't see the hand in front of your face. Now all of a sudden,
you can't breathe.
Wait, now all of a sudden, a few minutes later, fire trucks are squeezing out in front of our semi out in the road. you know, and it's so smoky, I got a flare out there now so nobody will run into the truck. And I'm going, this is so fucked. I said, hurry up, goddamn. So everybody's slinging as fast as we could sling and packing as much as we could pack. And that forest fire burned for like 2 days. So, yeah. And then another time coming up out of that same spot, it was late at night. I had a chase car and a crash car. And we had walkie-talkies, like handheld big walkie-talkies, because back then that's what was there. And we had a semi loaded with Massachusetts tags. And we had me in the front, a crash car in the back. And the object is to get this truck onto the interstate without any cop interdiction or anything, right? So we figured with the lead car, you know, and the crash car, if the cop was coming, the guy in the back could stop the car from coming. You understand what I'm saying? And the lead car could tell if the cop was coming and let everybody know and blah, 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 what was coming up. So I'm in the lead car, and all of a sudden this sheriff goes by us at like 2:30 in the morning. We're about 6 miles from where you get on the interstate. And that son of a bitch went by us and spun around the road so fast. I said, okay. And Joe Glow was driving the crash car, and he was just like 17. I said, listen up, fellas. I said, whatever. I said, we're not having shootouts with the cops, whatever. Just pull over. We'll take the lick. I said, I'll bail you out tomorrow. You know the drill. Don't talk. Just fucking be quiet. I'll get you out. And they said, okay, boss. Well, so they get pulled over, the crash car and the semi. Joe Glow decides he's going to take off running out there in the swamps of North Carolina instead of going to jail. I said, okay, so let's see. The driver gets arrested, and the cop said he stopped him because he saw 3 cars, and they all had Massachusetts tags, and at 2:30 in the morning, that was a flag for him. So, and this kid was, you know, a 20-year-old cop, so he was pretty smart. But he got us, you know, he got the load, and he got the truck, and then a couple days go by, and I hadn't heard from Joe Glow. I said, God damn. Finally, I'm at home, and the phone rings, because we didn't have cell phones back then, and it's Joe Glow. I said, Joe, where are you? He goes, I'm at the county jail, man. I said, for what? He goes, breaking and entering. I said, that's all they got you for, is breaking and entering? What's going on? He goes, just come bail me out, I'll tell you. Went down to the county, sent somebody down to bailed him out, right? He gets out. I said, Joe, what happened? He goes, well, I didn't want to go to jail, so fuck that. I took off running. He goes, wished I'd went to jail. He goes, I was running over fucking alligators. He goes, I almost got ate by black bears, and I ended up in the Navy bombing range. He goes, it was not a fun 2 days. The first cabin I found that looked like it had a phone in it, I kicked the door in and called the sheriff to come get me. I said, why didn't you call me? He goes, because I didn't know where the fuck I was at. I said, geez, well, okay. 911 got you there. I say, okay. So his bail was like, you know, $500 for kicking the door in and damage to the property, and he just misdemeanor charge. But, you know, so poor Joe Blow. And then he went down there, and his parents were mom and pop smugglers on the west coast of Florida out of Jamaica. They were bringing a lot of pot, and they got popped. So Joe ended up in prison for a minute. So, but good kid. Yeah, I like them. A lot of fun on the Outer Banks of North Carolina. That's where, as I said, I used to walk down the docks with a briefcase, my cowboy hat on. Hey, Macintosh.
Oh, right.
Yeah. Hey, Macintosh, come on up. I didn't have to ask them. They knew what I wanted. So it wasn't any, you know, the ones that wanted to make a quick buck were all for it. And there was a bunch of them that wanted to make quick bucks. So, and I was not the only one walking the docks. So, I mean, the Colombians really took over the Outer Banks of North Carolina hard. They, and the local shrimpers and stuff, they just, they pounded it. I mean, pounded it. Like, really pounded it? Yeah. Like hundreds of tons.
Wow.
Yeah. I mean, that one boy, Jose and Luis Herrera from Miami, they owned a seafood restaurant right on the river there in Miami, kind of down by the docks, fishing docks and stuff, but it was famous forever. And they had their own fishing fleet to go get the shrimps and the fish, and that's how the restaurant was just run by them and, you know, a couple Cubans. And they got busted with 11 shrimp boats coming into the Outer Banks all at the same time, loaded down, 4, 6 tons, 4 tons on every boat. Yeah, yeah, it was crazy.
Wow.
Yeah,
Huh. All in a row.
yeah, and all these names I throw at you, if you looked them up online and dug around a little bit, you'd see that the stories all match what I'm saying. It don't make no sense, but it does. I'm just saying.
Yeah, yeah. Where was the guy with the green swimming hat?
Where
Where?
was West Palm Beach?
West Palm Beach.
Yeah. Actually, it was in Lantana, which is right next to West Palm Beach. I mean, you take 10 steps, you're in West Palm Beach, and then you got the Lantana Bridge, and you got the West Palm Beach Bridge. So
Oh,
they're all
okay.
kind of like they're together.
Or you were right underneath the bridge?
No, I was across the bridge on the water side.
Oh, okay.
So,
Well, I know you were living on the beach, right?
right, because there's an intercoastal waterway, so you have to cross the bridge, and then you get on the outer island, which would be West Palm Beach and Lantana.
Okay.
So it's like
Well, I'm
a-
sure it's probably overpopulated
Like,
now.
oh, fuck. Yeah, that lot never. Oh, and it was the Reef condominiums. That's why I rented there. REEF, Reef. And here I had made all that money off from Reef Fur.
Yeah.
I said, yeah, I gotta stay here, boy. This has got to be the spot. Yeah, it was pretty funny. And then I bought that big fucking truck. You couldn't even drive it up underneath the parking garage. I had to park it out front. Had these fucking huge mutters on it. And way back then, not many had them, so it was
Right.
pretty unique. They looked like Bigfoot.